supplemental video, supplement to the weekend video. So this is going to make more sense if you've seen that video. And that weekend video, I made it public right away, so you can certainly find it by the YouTube channel if for some reason it gets disattached and unpinned from the top of my profile. Okay, here we're starting off looking at the roadmap. Here's where we are at as of today's close on Tuesday the 14th. New September low, breaking down below yesterday's low. Typical morning open as we've seen the last several days in a row. An open with a failure against an important element. Previously it was a failure against the 10-day. Now we're doing failures against the 20-day. Failure early in the session, usually in the first few minutes, and then just a sell-off the rest of the day, making lower and lower lows. Yesterday we had turned around and made a higher close, kind of breaking this pattern, but it sort of fell apart today and we just headed lower. Just below us, we've got the 50-day simple moving average. Unfortunately, I've been listening to talking heads all day long on CNBC talking about how, well, we've probably got to get to the 50-day simple moving average. That's probably where the buyers will step in. Well, now that they've said that and they've let that cat out of the bag, no buyers are going to step in here. We're probably going to get pressed lower before we can bounce a little bit and make an interim bounce. Now, mind you, we talked about in the weekend video that we may have a lot lower to go, that the 50-day is probably only about the halfway point to the final destination where we are likely going if we are going to mimic one of the larger sell-offs that we've seen this year. We had one back in February. I showed it to you in the weekend video that lasted for about 6%. Or if we just did it in terms of, well, let me show it to you. If we just did it in terms of points, the amount of points that we sold off in that sell-off, we'd make it down to about 43.19 or so, and the 100-day simple moving average. But if we do it in percentage terms, we'd make it all the way down to about 42.75. And you can see that here we are, even with just this one that just mimics the range. So it would be less than a 6% sell-off. This one, we're only about halfway there right now as we sort of levitate above the 50-day simple moving average. And time-wise, if we were to mimic the double sell-off that happened at the end of 2020, we've got a full week ahead of us of selling. Each of those sell-offs lasted a total of 3 weeks of trading. Yeah, there were some bounces in there. I'm not saying that we're just going to continue to sell off for 3 weeks straight, but we might get a little bounce and then we're going to sell off further and bounce a little bit and sell off further. So we could go through the rest of this week and all of next week before we really find the buyers. And the buyers might not be until all the way down here at the 100-day simple moving average and this marker of plus 15% on the year at 43.19 and change. So tomorrow, though, if we were to maybe get an interim bounce, I don't know that it will be off of the 50-day. If we were to come in tomorrow and maybe break this pattern of trying to open strong and then fail and sell off for the rest of the day, that could be a signal that we're going to flush it out early in the day, reverse, and then begin to rally. Maybe if we came in and gap down, open below the 50-day, or just gap down, open a little bit, but really pressed it and broke down through the 50-day early, this might be an interesting spot for us to try and reverse off of below the 50-day. Here is the August set price, and here we are coming up on September OPEX this week. August OPEX was a new all-time high settlement at 44.12 and change. Maybe if we come down here and hold above that level and reverse, people are going to get excited because that means, we're going to have a new monthly all-time high settlement this month as well. Or maybe we just take a little look below it, maybe down to this August 19th close. That relates back here to the day of the August low. And what's interesting too is that we broke down below the August halfway back yesterday and today and closed below it today. So maybe we're going to get in here to this area where we close on the day of that August low, and maybe that's going to bring in the buyers closer to the 4,400 handle, which also makes sense with our whole 80 handle rule, because basically up here at our all-time high, we failed miserably below 45.50, and now here we are cruising towards the 4,400 handle and ultimately looking for some kind of a cushion above that 4,400 handle and reverse. Okay, I hope this video helped you out, gave you a good idea of where things might be going tomorrow. I want to also point out that it'd be better to be using the Friday end of the day options right now, because as we get to Wednesday, you only have until Thursday at the end of the day to trade those September monthlies. They're really, really impossible to spread because you're at risk holding those overnight into Monday's opening and never know what you're going to get out of that. So at this point in the game, I'd rather be in the Friday end of the day options. There was some good volume in the 4,400 puts. These were at the $11 window. Unfortunately, if we do get that gap down open scenario, these are going to be a lot higher than the $11 window where they closed today. So maybe you'll need to come down to maybe the 43.80s or something like that. Over on the call side, if you want to wait out this push lower and see if we get a push down and a reverse around here, around this 44.12 to 44.05 area, you can get into something well below the 4,500 strike calls. You could maybe get into the 44.80s or the 44.70s or 75s. All of this had good volume today. Really heavy volume here in the 44.75s. They close at the mid to lower $11 window. Maybe those would come down to the $8 or even $5 window. You could get in those and play for a bounce and move back up. Because maybe if we get that over with tomorrow, maybe we're going to have a rally in some monthly OPEX. Maybe they're looking, to get back up here towards close to 4,500 so that they can settle OPEX closer up there to 4,500. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, and I don't want to make this video any longer because I'm trying to make it a quick update after a very, very long weekend video. Anyway, have a good rest of your evening. As always, good luck and good trading.